Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm going to be making a modification, or mod as it's commonly called, to be able to charge my Bugs 5W B5W battery using a hobby grade battery charger instead of the normal charger, which takes a long time to charge up because it just plugs into a USB source. Now, it is a good thing to charge a battery slowly, but there are times that you would like to charge it quicker. And I also would like to possibly recharge a battery in the field while I'm busy with something else and be able to get another flight off of a battery. So when I finish the modification, I'm going to test and see how long it's going to take to charge up in the field on this battery charger that uses a battery for power and transfers and charges up to here. So first of all, depending on what type of charger you've got and what type of battery adapters you commonly work with, whether it's an XT60, even a JST, or an XT30, you need to choose the type of adapter you would like to use to charge it up with. Now you can get these adapters that have wires on already, like these two. Or if you can't find, and this is a little XT30 that's more common with the Bugs, make sure you get at least 18 AWG silicone covered wire, and then you can make your own like this by doing it like this, and then always make sure that you've got some heat shrink tubing that you can put over and then shrink onto the connectors. So because I predominantly use an XT60, I'm going to put an XT60 on because this is even a better gauge wire. I think this is a 12 AWG, which is thicker and should be able to help it charge faster in the field too. This is about a 22 AWG wire, which is a lot thinner, so the current won't pass through as well as it would with 18 AWG wire. So the first thing we need to do is, if you have a look inside the battery adapter, so as you're probably aware, this goes onto here, that plugs into there to charge up using the supplied charger. Now this is a mod I saw pictures of on RC groups done by a guy called Quad Tinker, but unfortunately no video of this, so I'm going to make a video to show you how to do this. There are 3 screws in here which need to be removed. So there's one in the middle on the side here, and then there's one near the top corner here, and one in the bottom corner over here. Okay, and then when the screws are loosened, you just pull down here. Not loosened enough. There we go. And then this bottom plate comes off here, and then this comes out over here. Now if we look very closely at this, you'll see this area here is a lighter green, and then you also have this area here that's a light green. Now you can see the red wires coming onto this area here, So this is the positive charging side of this little board, and the small area here is the negative side. So basically what I'm going to do is put this XT60 adapter onto here so that I can plug this into a hobby grade charger together with the balance port and charge it that way. So the best thing to do first of all is find an area, and obviously the more central it is, the better it is, and start scratching away a little bit at the surface here to take off some of the resin, so that we can put some solder on here to make a contact. Now I'm going to make a fairly big area because I'm using quite a big cable over here, so I need to have a better area for it to connect onto. You can use a hobby knife or just a screwdriver as I'm doing. You can also drill a hole through and make sure you just remove some resin as well. Because if you don't remove the resin, the solder is not going to stick, and also you're not going to make contact with the board here. Quite there. So we've got a much smaller area here. So this is going to be a little bit trickier, but I'm going to start scratching away here. And I'll have to be careful that I don't get too close to that contact there, although it is also a negative charge. Okay, so I've got two areas cleared here. If you look closely here, you can see you've got copper coming through, so that should be okay. Now what we need to do is tin the ends of this cable and also put some solder onto here. So let me just get the soldering iron heated up. Okay, so to tin, I'm just going to put a little bit of solder on the soldering iron. Yeah. And then try and get it onto the surface here. Not so easy, you've got to try and get it to part here and stay on there. Okay, so now I've actually drilled a hole right through so that I can get a better grip. So let me try and put some more solder into these holes now. Okay, that seems better and should be able to grip a bit better. A little bit concerned this one is joining here. Just remove this. Oh. Yeah, we haven't got much space to work with here, so I've got to be a little bit careful. Okay, that's out of the way there. I'll just do a little bit more back here. bottom again. I've got in the bottom. A little bit better there. So because the wires I'm working with are a lot thicker, it's a lot more difficult. You know, it'd be a lot easier if one had the thinner wire to put in. So I've just had to split and make, call it a little anchor if you like, a piece of wire here. Now if I go onto the positive here, I'm going to put this little piece through the hole, and here it comes out on the other side here. And then I'm going to secure this so I can get a hold. By putting solder onto the end of this wire here to prevent it pulling through. And now I've got a lock onto there. Going to put a bit more solder on the bottom here. And then secure this wire down onto the top here. And now I'm going to put some more solder on the top. Heat it through to make better contact. And now I've got quite a good solid secure connection here now. Just try and press it down for better security on the board here. So it doesn't look that neat, but it's holding fast. I'm going to put a bit of extra solder on the bottom here too. Okay, so this is the positive one fastened and secured. Now I want to do the negative one over here. To anchor this little bit into the hole. Over here. And to secure it on the bottom, some more solder. Okay, that's holding it on the bottom. And now just position this properly away from this other one here. And because it's tinned below, try and get a good grip. Yeah. Okay, and then so this is the negative also secured over here. Now, so this is this finally done. Now, obviously I need to get it back into here. And now I've got additional cables. I put it back into here. Just get it hooked into there. Now there is quite a bit of a hole here already. But if I try and put this cover back on here now, mind you, even with the thick wires, this one's not, if I leave that out like that, that's going to fit back in there quite nicely. So let me just put these screws back in here. So yeah, no, that's fine. If you do find that, you know, if you want to get this lug back into here properly, you might just have to cut away a little bit of more space around the edges to lead the wires out. But despite the thickness of these wires, this is fine for me right now. And this is it finished now. So if I plug this onto the battery here, I'm just going to test and see what the charge in the battery is currently. So the battery is only at 9%, so I want to charge it up to full capacity, so I'm going to see how long it's going to take all the way from 9% of charge. So 3.538 on the one cell and 3.774 on the other cell. So now what I need to do is plug the battery in here, because if I want to charge in the field, I'm going to use a battery rather than electricity at home. I'm going to connect this to the balance port here, and the negative must be this side here, so that's in the ballast port there. Okay, so I've got this plugged in now, so we can see one cell at 3.54 and one cell at 3.78 volts. So now, because this is a 1800 mAh battery, the maximum charge I should really charge it at is 1.8 amps. So I'm going to go to current, so I'm going to go to amps. And I'm going to put it up to 1.8 amps. And select it. And it's going to be charged. Click on start. So now it's started. And it'll gives this battery charger gives me the time. And when it's finished, it'll tell me how much time it's taken it to charge from 9% of capacity. So this is it finished charging now, and it took 1 hour 20 minutes to charge it up to 8.4 volts at an average of about 4.2 volts per cell. So considering it was on 9%, this is a very good time. I would have said that Using the normal charger that comes with this, it would have taken closer to 5 hours. So a very good result, and I could charge it higher than 1.8 amps if I wanted to do it quicker, but it's not good to charge higher than 1% of the battery's capacity. So let me disconnect, and let me just have a look here and confirm. Yes, battery at 99% of capacity, 8.382 volts. So when you do this, make sure that you use a male adapter, because most hobby grade battery chargers have female sockets, but just make sure the adapter is compatible and you use the proper male or female compatible for your battery charger. So I hope you found this video helpful.